Hello everybody, welcome again to my channel. And today we're going to be discussing my Bertucci field watch and what I think of it and how I've think it wears so far. This watch I've had for a couple of months now, and I think it's probably one of the more comfortable watches that I own, and I'll get down to the details as to why. There's some pros and cons to it, and I'll discuss that throughout the video. But first thing is I want to get the strap out of the way. This is not a OEM strap. This is a strap from the company Barton. They do not sponsor this video. None of the people that I review sponsor this video, so I'm not getting paid for anything, but I bought Barton straps before, and most of the time they're better than most of the cheap straps that come along with these, well, cheaper watches. And what's going on with the ergonomics of it, there is the crown on the fore side of the watch, and it's pretty comfortable. The water resistance is 50 meters, so I mean, splash proof, if anything. Not really something I would like for a field watch, but I mean, it's cheap, so what else can you do? The glass is mineral, so at least it's not acrylic, so it won't scratch all that too much. And actually the case is designed to where, let's see if I can get it here, the crystal doesn't actually stick out. It's kind of overlapping. The case overlaps the crystal a little bit, gives it an extra protection. So I never really bang the crystal, and I've hit this on doors, and it always like scratches up around the rim, but not so much the crystal. And ergonomic wise, I wear it pretty frequently. It feels very comfortable. The original strap that came on this was a NATO strap that was very thick and honestly weighed more than the watch itself. I think that was probably where more of the money went to, was the strap itself. The strap is very nice quality, but it was just too abrasive and just not all that comfortable, to be quite honest. Not to say it was a bad one, and the quality is definitely there. It's very stiff, sturdy. I feel like it could probably take a beating, but for my everyday wear, I couldn't have that on my wrist all that much. But the design, I think, is really well done. You can get these in a variety of colors, there's different dials. The price will range roughly between the 40 to 50 for these like basic resin models. Once you get to the more steel models, they go up to like the 70s to 100s. And I couldn't really picture myself buying a steel model for a brand that I had no experience with prior, so I decided just to try out the cheaper models. And if later on I want to buy a more expensive titanium or silver or stainless steel model, then I will look into that. But right now, let's just dissect it. It's pretty good. The resin has a nice matte to it. It's pretty standard matte finishing, and actually, you can see, is kind of what they're known for, I guess, is these are actually fused together, so you cannot replace these spring bars, because these spring bars are actually a part of the case. It's a unibody case. And you see here the Bertucci label and the little dog there. I think it's pretty nice. I don't know if you can see it with the glare, but yeah, it's a Japanese quartz with the case, I think, built in China, and then the watch is assembled in America. Not to really knock on the quartz side. I mean, I like quartz watches. I wear them more than mechanicals. Nothing wrong with it. But what I do get a little pet peeved about is when I see the alignments of watches that cost more than like my other quartz watches. And for example, my Timex, the Time Expedition that I showed earlier in my channel, has better alignment than this Bertucci, and costs, I would say, pretty less. And that's kind of one of the things that irks me, is that the secondhand isn't really all that accurate. I have a Casio resin diver watch that I'll show later on that is half the price of this Bertucci, and the alignment is just superb compared to this one. And that's really my gripe. I guess most of the money goes towards the lume, I would assume, which the lume isn't bad. In fact, I'll probably show you right now. Viewer discretion for the light change. And 1, 2, 3. As you can see, the lume is not terrible. It doesn't last all that long, but I mean, it does the job. You can see it on the hours and minutes hand, and a little bit on that second hand there, and the other indices also have just a tad a bit, but not too bad. And I mean, like I said, nothing really compares to Timex's Indiglo. That is like loom means nothing to compared to the Indiglo. It's just the superior, to me anyways, the superior loom replacement. But yeah, so this watch, I mean, overall it's a pretty good one. It's not to say my favorite. I think my World Time still takes the cake on that. But it's definitely more ergonomic. This doesn't stick into my arm as much because it's the placement of where it is. And it's a relatively small watch. I think this is like around the 38 millimeter size. They do get smaller. Actually, it might be around the 40. I don't remember the specs. But it's not a large watch. Here, I'll even kind of semi put it on wrist. And it's not terrible. It's actually pretty good, and I don't have the biggest of wrists, so I'd say if you're a guy who's on the smaller side, this probably will fit you reasonably well. So final thoughts. It's reasonably good. Would I buy it again, knowing what I know now? Probably not. I think there are other watch companies offer better watches. But if you really like this old school military style type watch, which I personally, the main selling point for me is the design. The design is great. I just don't like the execution with the materials and the movement. But I mean, it's a sub $50 watch, so you can't really complain all that much if I had to complain. But I'd say if you like the aesthetic, not a bad buy. If you are working in an environment that's like really brutal, like, I don't know, manufacturing or construction, this watch, like I said, can take a beating, and it's going to be one of those, if it does break, you're not really going to cry about it. So but definitely change the strap. You can keep the strap. I mean, I kept it, but I just can't wear it. It's too abrasive for me. Changing the strap definitely helped. It made it lighter as well, since the strap was like twice the weight of the watch itself. But yeah, I mean, that'll do it for this video, and I'll see you guys around the next one.